Hi, my name is Jenna Zick, and I chose Talkiatry as my great place to work, mostly because it's an organization that's in the mental health field, which is where I currently work, is in the mental health field. So, Talkiatry is a psychiatric medication management program. It is conducted through telehealth. They also offer therapy if needed, but unlike other programs, you don't need to be involved in therapy to receive psychiatric medication management. It was co-founded by a patient and a psychiatrist. So after the patient, who will kind of get into his story a little more, after he experienced a home invasion, he was looking for a psychiatric medication management prescriber, and he was unable to find one that was in network with insurance. So he recognized this and then created Talkiatry, which is all in-network psychiatric medication management that does not require outpatient therapy, as well as any other mental health care to receive medication management for psychiatric illness. Their mission statement is a care that fits you, that really shows their values of that access to care. Talkiatry works in steps. So the first step is an online assessment. Patients will complete the quick assessment. Then from there, they will have their insurance verified. Like I mentioned, Talkiatry only takes in-network insurances, so they do not do any kind of monthly subscriptions, no out-of-network, no private pay. So their insurance will be verified. They'll be then matched with a psychiatrist from their quick assessment that they did online. Most of the time it's based off of location, because even though it is a complete telehealth practice, the provider still has to be licensed in the state in which they're providing medication management. Furthermore, a lot of the times diagnosis will come into play when choosing a prescriber, just to have that matched fit to help clinical outcomes. The next step is then treatment, which is medication management. So some demographics about Talkiatry. So it is estimated that their annual revenue is $94.7 million per year. They are telehealth, as I mentioned, operating in 45 states. And like I mentioned previous, that the clinicians have to be licensed in the state in which they're providing services. So co-founders are Robert Craven, which is the patient in the earlier scenario, and then Georgia Gaveras. So she's one of the psychiatrists, the medical director for the service. Talkiatry employs approximately 800 full-time psychiatrists and has conducted approximately 3 million patient visits per date. So they have been very expansive in their services, and they're able to see patients on a wide variety due to them promoting access to care being a fully virtual service. So why is Talkiatry any different than any other provider or any other business? Why have they fallen into this category of a great place to work? So when we think about being a consumer company versus a healthcare company, during an interview with Behavioral Health Business, Mr. Crane states, you have to really choose. Are you building a consumer company, or are you building a healthcare company? And so I said the healthcare company comes first. So in this statement, Mr. Crane has really kind of set the bar for the type of organization that he wants to lead. He has stated that he does not want to be an organization that's focused on profit, that's so focused on the consumer. He wants to be a healthcare company, to focus on the patient, to focus on quality of care and the metrics. So with this being said, they are a high performer in several different domains. Clinical outcomes, cost savings, worker satisfaction. So 87% of patients with anxiety report symptom improvement after 2 visits, and they see the same success with their cost of care reductions too. It has been reported that cost of care reductions are nearly $700 per month per member. And then also worker satisfaction. We'll get into that a little bit in the next few slides about why workers are satisfied to be employed there. So the Great Place to Work Award. Employees take a 74-question survey that asks demographic questions. There's 14 demographic questions, and then the rest are Likert scale questions about their experience in the workplace, and then all of this information gets combined together to create a trust index score, which is kind of how organizations are scored. So some of the things that were brought to attention on this survey is clinician diversity and employee needs. So clinician diversity, 46% of clinicians identify as people of color at Talkiatry, and then they are able to provide medication management in 30 plus spoken languages. So this is very neat because not only is there diversity, which promotes access to services and care for those patients, but also when we talk about aligning the patient with the perfect match of a psychiatrist, and then the work environment too that is fostered by diversity. When we talk about employee needs, we think of culture, development, reward strategy, the connection that an employee feels to their workforce, and Talkiatry does a great job at meeting all of these needs. So we'll see here Dr. Georgia Gaveras, the co-founder, she has this quote that talks about what Talkiatry has provided to her. And it goes a little bit deeper in the next coming slides about how the role of the psychiatrist is really emphasized through Talkiatry's program. So some of the core values that are outlined in Talkiatry through a people-centered culture is reliability, access. One of the biggest ones I would say is treating every patient like a human. The co-founder had mentioned that when he was looking for treatment after his traumatic experience, it was so difficult to find something, and it was so discouraging. So in this instance, Talkiatry prides itself on being accessible, reliable, there for people, and then also not only there for people, but promoting the best clinical outcomes. So here we have another one of the co-founders, so the Dr. Georgia. She really embodies leadership practices and trusts. This example here is from an excerpt about their residency psychiatry program for newly developed psychiatrists. So she mentions that this program was built because she remembers what it was like to go through that. So she's emphasizing respect, a caring environment, putting into words how her experience has shaped the program that she wants to lead. So that really that leadership that walks the talk. HR and operational practices. So this slide goes over a little bit about their benefits and whether that be quantifiable benefits like 401k, salary, or other benefits like sabbaticals or paid parental leave, things that maybe aren't typical standards for every employee, but show that the employee workforce is committed to supporting the individual. In doing this, they are promoting employee engagement and commitment from the employees. Some other things that are benefits that are more so on the HR operational practices to the employee would be Talkiatry takes care of scheduling, documentation, insurance, really focusing on what they can do to support the psychiatrist so the psychiatrist can do what they went to school for, which is that medication management, helping patients, addressing psychiatric needs. So in change and responsiveness, one of the most interesting things that I want to bring up in this section is that Talkiatry was created as a response to a problem that the co-founder experienced himself. So this is kind of proof that he sees change as a positive, and this developmental phase of this company was in response to change. So change is inevitable. So they're very new, progressive, individualistic, team-oriented, and I want to highlight too that they don't really employ a corporate caste system. So even though most of their employment base is psychiatrists, there isn't really a hierarchy among employees, and you'll see this too from one of the marketing managers here that gave a review of what it's like to work there. She mentions that she is constantly engaged in problem solving, collaborating, thinking of new things, being involved in the company, and this promotes the purpose that drives change through the individual. And then I have my references here, and thank you so much.